Coming up on Fulton Today, the county takes its first step to improve the citizen experience in dealing with the property tax and assessment process. We'll tell you how. Also, Fulton commissioners declare the opioid epidemic as a nuisance in the county and more legal consequences. And later, details on how you can help reshape your local library. That and more starts right now on Fulton Today. Welcome to Fulton Today, everybody. I'm Shania Chavis-Rucker. Fulton County officials launch a major campaign around the 2018 tax assessment process. Now, the plan is to help property owners better understand the process and their rights and responsibilities. FGTV's Brian Robinson joins us now with more on this story. Brian?
Shania, Fulton leaders say they learned a valuable lesson from the 2017 tax assessment process, which is why in 2018 they are taking extra measures to keep everyone informed.
Though it's a new year, Fulton County residents attending this community meeting at the Georgia Hills Community Center are still perplexed about how their homes are valued in 2017.
My house was based in 2012, $214,000. 2017, y'all tried to say it was worth $539,000. It's less than 1,200 square feet.
State legislators invited county leaders to hear these concerns about property assessments and the overall process. Citizens offered recommendations on how to improve the process.
I was very happy that this meeting was organized, and I got a lot of new information, and I was able to express my idea.
It's that type of feedback that has led to changes for this year's property assessment process. Part of the changes include communicating better with residents about the process and the exemptions.
We're going to use every means possible in terms of multimedia, video, postcards, posting on our website to truly try to saturate the information flow whereby people can understand, again, what their rights are, what the process is, and ultimately what the end result should be.
Citizens left with brochures that detail the process and policy. For example, every property is assessed every year and must be within 10% of fair market value according to Georgia law. Size, age, location, and comparable sales also play a role in determining property value. The flyer also notifies residents that assessments will be in the mail in May and it can be appealed within 45 days. Homestead exemptions, how to qualify for one, and senior homestead exemptions are also covered. All of this info can be found on the Board of Assessors' new and improved website. If you don't have internet access but still need to contact the Board of Assessors office, you can call 404-612-6440.
The campaign to educate citizens on the assessment process will be ongoing through the assessment period. One important day to keep in mind is Monday, April 2nd. That is the homestead exemption deadline. Now here's FGTV's Felicia Church with more on the story, including reaction from the Fulton House delegation.
I'm just trying to get my hands around how this all happens to get repaired.
Representative Chuck Martin and members of the Fulton County House delegation invited county leaders and officials back to the Coverdale Legislative Office building for more conversation about the property tax process, particularly exemptions.
We just wanted to have a conversation today about what exemptions are available to our citizens in Fulton County. They're far from simple, even for people that know taxes. They're certainly not simple for all of the folks that live in the county to understand that when they hit a certain income level, they hit a certain age level, there may be other exemptions available.
From regular homestead exemptions to senior homestead exemptions, Fulton's chief assessor was asked to inform the delegation how exemptions are listed, how they are obtained, and the process to apply. Dwight Robinson clarified who's eligible for Fulton County Schools, and Atlanta Public Schools tax exemptions. He also explained senior home exemptions. Those seniors may qualify for one or more homestead exemptions. They have income limits and age requirements. With so many exemptions and senior exemptions available, the delegation wants to help county citizens get the correct property tax relief.
I think the legislature is doing their due diligence, trying to determine what, if any, thing needs to be done to help with tax assessments, to help with the tax assessment process.
The delegation is processing the information it received and is planning another meeting with the chief appraiser and team. They may also ask for the tax commissioner to be involved to help list exemptions on tax bills. Reporting for FGTV, I'm Felicia Church.
Thank you very much, Felicia. Well, voter registration is now officially open. As we shared last week, 2018 will be another busy election year for Fulton County, its municipalities, and the state. And the Department of Registration and Elections is encouraging residents to begin preparing by registering to vote and verifying their registration status. Now, if you are not registered to vote, Fulton County residents can do so online at their local city, the Georgia Department of Driver Services, and any Fulton County Library branch, or by mail, or one of these 3 registration and elections offices.
We're going to have 3 elections this year. We're going to have in May, we'll have the general primary. In July, we'll have the general primary runoff. And in November, we are going to have the general election. It's important to register to vote if you want your voice heard, because we're going to have many different races on the ballot, from the county commission all the way up to the governor's race.
Registered voters are encouraged to verify their address with the Department of Registration and Elections, especially if they have recently had a change of address. Now, for more information on the voter registration process and the 2018 elections, just log on to fultonelections.com or call 404-612-3816. And speaking of registration, general contractors, listen up. Fulton County wants to do business with you, but you must first officially register. Vendors attending a general contractors workshop at the Aviation Community Cultural Center got details on how they can become eligible.
We hold these events at least once a year, and not only do we have one event, but we go around the county and host at different sites to allow vendors the opportunity to be close to the action of where they're working and ease of use to get to these events. These events are awesome to allow vendors to understand what's coming and prepare for those opportunities.
With more eligible general contractors to choose from, the county's Department of Community Development can increase the volumes of homes in their homeowner rehabilitation program. Now, though the county is eager to expand its options, there's criteria that must be met. First, a vendor must be registered with the county. Second, a vendor must possess the expertise and skills that meet the needs of the project. And finally, a vendor must be committed to completing the job properly.
Today's meeting was very informative. A lot going on in Fulton County, and they're looking for diversity.
We're very grateful for these outreach events that the county does throw, so that way we can engage ourselves with other companies and also with the county and do business with them.
For more general contractor information, you can contact Arthur Christian at 404-612-7193, or you can email him at the address right there on the screen. MARTA officials unveil a new look for its mobility fleet. The Metro Atlanta Rapid Transit Authority showed off the vehicles and buses at the 5 Points MARTA station.
It's important to get new buses so that we can maintain the reliability of our service. We can continue to serve our customers the best way we can, while also providing them with the up-to-date amenities that come with these new vehicles.
The new buses will feature Wi-Fi, high-definition security cameras, high-capacity heating and air conditioning. They also include heated entry and exit floors to prevent icing and mobile ticketing. The new mobility vans have 3 wheelchair positions, non-slip flooring, and ambulatory seats with 3-point seatbelts. This is the first step MARTA has taken to replace 25% of its buses and mobility vans over the next 6 years. And still to come, seniors celebrate the grand reopening of their home away from home in Union City. It's part of our district by district coverage next. Fulton's chairman spends some time in the Fulton County Jail, and commissioners take new steps to address the opioid epidemic. Here's this week's district by district coverage. We began with the tour of the Fulton County Jail by Chairman Rob Pitts. The at-large commissioner was greeted by Sheriff Ted Jackson and Chief Jailer Colonel Mark Adger. The chairman wanted to speak to frontline staff to hear about their programs and their needs.
One of the things that we're working on that directly impacts the jail will be the cash bail situation. There are probably some 200 to 600 to 700, 800 people there now who really don't need to be there. So if you do the math, that many people times $77 per day, that's a tremendous amount of money that could be used to help train those inmates while they're there, but more importantly, even put some of that money in place to help them prevent them from going to jail in the first place.
The chairman got an up-close look at the award-winning kitchen and heard about the culinary training for the inmates. All in all, the chairman was impressed with the facility and the programs for the inmates. Fulton's vice chairman gets the support of his colleagues in approving a modification to a county ordinance to now declare the opioid epidemic as a public nuisance.
It further demonstrates the excessive and particularized damages in addressing the epidemic, including the demands and costs placed on law enforcement, the courts, and all entities of county government.
Fulton has seen the devastation firsthand here in the county with 154 opioid-related deaths in 2016. That was up more than 150% since 2010. And countless more are addicted to opioids and at risk of death. Data from 2017 is still being compiled. Fulton commissioners unanimously adopted an opioid misuse and abuse prevention plan in July of last year. Part of that plan is to put law enforcement, prevention, and rehabilitation measures in place in the county. This new nuisance county ordinance is part of that plan. Meanwhile, as we mentioned earlier in the show, Fulton County officials are in the midst of an education campaign to address the 2018 tax assessment process. District 5 Commissioner Marvin Arrington Jr. attended the town hall meeting at the Georgia Hill Community Center and invited state lawmakers to hear concerns firsthand.
Representative David Dreyer, Senator Nan Orrod, Representative Kim Schofield, Chairman Pitts were all here tonight to hear from the constituents, to hear from the residents about the ideas that they have for assessment of property taxes, to hear their complaints, their comments, their recommendations, and to take those back.
Last year, residents expressed concerns over the initial 2017 assessment notices that revealed large increases in values and therefore would have meant a higher tax bill. Commissioners directed the assessors to use 2016 values for the 2017 notices. County officials are working on a much smoother process this year, and it starts with informing residents about the process and about the exemptions available. And finally, in District 6, County and Union City leaders celebrate the grand reopening of the Union City Neighborhood Senior Center at Etris. Commissioner Emma I. Darnell, Chairman Pitts, and Union City Mayor Vince Williams were among the dignitaries to cut the ribbon, symbolically signifying the official partnership between the city and the county.
It takes all of us working together to get it done. This is one of the great communities in Midas 6, and we just enjoy so much being here today to fellowship with folks. Some things can't be done by email. So we are so glad this day to join with Mayor Williams, so glad to collaborate. Fulton County has an agreement with this city to make sure that these seniors have the very best. So this is a wonderful day for all of us.
It is no way this could have been done without the partnership of, first off, Commissioner Emma Darnell and the entire Board of Commissioners. We are eternally grateful, and I know our seniors will show that, by visiting this location, but also letting each and every one of them know that they are appreciated.
Fulton commissioners approved the intergovernmental agreement with Union City that allows the county to provide an instructor, programs, and lunch to residents age 60 and over who use the center.
They're providing the facilities, we're kind of providing the programming and the staffing, and it's just been phenomenal.
It makes me feel special that seniors have not been just pushed aside. I mean, even though we're older, we're still active.
As a part of this agreement, Union City is also providing the maintenance for the building. This facility will also provide another venue that will serve its youth for recreational purposes. And still to come on Fulton Today, getting Fulton's homeless citizens vaccinated with the flu shot. Stay with us. The number of people with the flu in the county continues to rise, so Fulton's Board of Health hit the streets to get a vulnerable population access to the flu vaccine. FGTV's Priscilla Ortega has our story.
Shania, medical professionals say those who are around people who are sick with the flu are very likely to catch the bug. And those who reside in close quarters are especially at risk, especially those who live in homeless shelters. So Fulton's Board of Health partnered with the Salvation Army to set up a makeshift flu vaccine clinic at the Salvation Army Rehabilitative Services located on Marietta Boulevard.
Members of our TB outreach team teamed up with nursing, and together 3 of those workers along with 8 nurses, we covered 7 of the 7 shelters here in the county of Fulton County.
The idea is to get as many people vaccinated as possible so that fewer people get sick.
The homeless might not readily have access to the flu vaccine. If they know where to go, they might not have the money to pay for it. And so we thought we would target them for that reason. The other reason is that some of these homeless folks are suffering from other chronic diseases, and that puts them at higher risk of getting complications from the flu were they to get the flu.
As the Board of Health is doing its part with the homeless population and at 6 county health centers, Grady Hospital is also continuing to see a steady influx of patients with the flu or with flu-like symptoms. Fulton doctors say flu season could last as late as May, so they are encouraging all residents who have not gotten their flu shot this season to get one. Now you can check location and hours for the 6 Fulton health centers that have the vaccine on the county's website or by calling the number on your screen. Reporting for FGTV, I'm Priscilla Ortega.
Thank you, Priscilla. Another vulnerable population, especially when it comes to eating properly, is our seniors. Well, for over 20 years, the Fulton County Senior Services team has provided home-delivered meals and warm smiles. On this trip, the seniors in the independent living community were visited by some very special guests as a part of the Food to Front Door program.
We're at the Maggie Russell Tower, and we're doing meal delivery, which I've never done before, but it's phenomenal. But evidently we do it over 10,000 times a month. Is that right?
10,000 meals, that's right, County Manager Anderson. We do deliver over 100,000 meals a year, and today we had the opportunity to actually interact with those seniors that we actually provide this service for.
Every day, an army of volunteers bring the food to the seniors who might otherwise not eat but for these home-delivered meals. Fulton's county manager says this service is indicative of the county's public service motto of because we care, we serve. For more information about this program, contact the Senior Services Department or the Star Line. And still to come, residents help shape the look of their local libraries. We'll explain. Well, all this month, the Atlanta Fulton County Library System is hosting community meetings to allow residents to get a sneak peek at plans for 7 libraries being renovated. Well, here now to talk to us about this whole public meeting campaign is Claudia Strange. She is the PR and Marketing Director with the Library System. Claudia, great to see you.
Thanks for having us, Shania.
So talk to us a little bit about the renovation project public meetings and their importance.
Sure, of course. The public meetings that we've been holding since last fall have been for the public to come in and provide input into the types of changes they'd like to see in each of their branches for the renovation project. We started with about 7 libraries as part of our Group 1. Each of the renovation projects is kind of divided up into groups. Group 1 has 7 libraries in it. And so for those 7 libraries, we held public meetings with residents, friends of the library groups, volunteers, and then held a separate set of meetings for employees to allow them to give input as well, to help us make sure that we are managing our space the best we can and that we are kind of rearranging as needed to make it the most effective and efficient library possible once they reopen. That public meeting has been a wealth of knowledge for us and really helped our design team go back and incorporate the needs of the community.
And I understand these design plans were made by the input of the residents. What's been the reaction of these plans?
So far, we are just a few meetings into our second round of meetings with that same set of libraries, and the reaction's been wonderful. You know, we even finished a meeting last week with clapping, which is something that we don't always see in a public meeting, which was very nice. We really made sure that the designs incorporated all of the requests of the communities, so there really was an excitement at the end of each of the meetings to just get started with renovations now that they've seen that they'll have those extra study rooms that they asked for, that they'll have those extra meeting spaces for community groups to come meet, that they'll have that increased technology and they'll have that self-checkout. It's really going to make a huge difference in all of those libraries that we're renovating.
And Claudia, when does construction begin?
So construction will be staggered throughout the entire renovation process for all 24 libraries in an effort to not create pockets where there are no libraries accessible to our patrons. We made sure to stagger some of those closings. Right now we're scheduled to start some closings in the Group 1 set of library renovations in April. That is still very much a tentative schedule as we're going through kind of the 6 million items that need to be decided between now and then, from paint colors to lighting fixtures. So we're expecting several of those libraries in Group 1 again to start closing around the April timeframe. We're expecting anywhere from 6 to 9 months on construction for some of the larger ones. Some of the smaller branches will perhaps close for 3 to 6 months, depending on the scheduling that we create with each of the design teams for each of the branch groups. More information, of course, will always be on our website and will be updated as we get them updated. Updated dates and times for closings at afpls.org.
Well, good to know. Thank you so much, Claudia Strange with the Atlanta Fulton Public Library System. Again, good to see you.
Thanks for having us, Shania.
Now, the next library renovation project public meeting takes place February 27th at the Roswell Library from 6:30 to 8 p.m. To see a list of the libraries that are a part of the Group 1 renovation plan, as well as the other information, you can just log on to afpls.org. And finally, as Black History Month comes to its final days, we take a trip back in time with seniors from the Mills facility. Participants of the Helene S. Mills Senior Center planned and participated in a program to honor special African American women from their past and the present.
We decided that we wanted to honor women this year, and we also wanted to kind of highlight women that everybody doesn't think of when they first think about Black women heroes.
The program was titled Black Women Resisting White Supremacy and included legends and icons who broke barriers in their respective fields. From Mary McLeod Bethune and Shirley Chisholm to Lena Horne and Naomi Ruth Barber King, civil rights advocate and sister-in-law to Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
I think that all of the peoples of the world is that live in 3 classes. They come in 3 classes. That's envy, jealousy, and hate. And I would hope that each one of those search your conscience and see, you know, if you are free of those 3 evils. And for me, I choose love, and that is what I offer, is love.
Participants say it is more important now than ever before to preserve our past. Fulton Senior Centers, libraries, and arts facilities all hosting a number of events all month long in honor of Black History Month. And before we go, our reminder that we'd like to connect with you online. Be sure to follow FGTV on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for up-to-date Fulton County news. And you can watch a replay of this show or any other FGTV program on our YouTube channel. Well, that does it for this edition of Fulton Today. I'm Shania Chavis-Rucker. Thank you so much for watching. Join us each week for news around and about Fulton County.